Hey everyone, how's it going? Josh here. Just wanted to take the time today to rate the Dream Theater catalog, the studio albums from worst to best, least favorite to most favorite. I have 14 CDs here with me. These are the studio albums I'm gonna rate. I did not include Change of Seasons in there. So although it is one of my favorite Dream Theater songs, I didn't include it in there. I do love that CD. It would have been um, higher up the ranks, but it's not a studio album per se. Listen, I mean, this is a good thing that I'm sure a lot of Dream Theater fans would enjoy and appreciate the ranking of the albums. I have seen a couple of videos online. It kind of inspired me to do so. And I said, let me pull out all the Dream Theater CDs and rank them from worst to last. But like I said, they really, to me, I mean, there's really not a bad Dream Theater album. There's just albums that I like better than others, and I'm sure most Dream Theater fans will feel the same way. Let me start right now. So I'd say my least favorite, and in at number 14 is the new one, Distance Over Time. So Distance Over Time, it's not that it's a bad album, it's just like it really hasn't caught on to me. It's just a couple good songs on there, like Untethered Angel, what is it, Barstool Warrior is really cool. It's got that cool riff in the beginning. You got a couple of good tracks here and there. That Pale Blue Dot tune is really, really good. Paralyzed is okay, but At Wit's End, pretty cool, but really nothing stands out. I'm not really, it's okay. It's just like, again, they're good songs, but nothing really like gets to me. So I put that one in at number 14. And at 13 is the first album they did with Mike Mangini, and this is called A Dramatic Turn of Events. This album right here, I mean, it's like, it's got some good songs on here. I mean, it's just that, but it's the first album since the departure of Mike Portnoy, and I don't know, I'm not like, listen, Mike Mangini is amazing. He's an amazing drummer, but the band seemed to change when Mike Portnoy left. The music changed a little bit, and it's just not the same. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but it's not the same. But there are some good songs on here. I do like On the Backs of Angels. That's a good song. Lost and Not Forgotten is amazing. There's a couple of like cool ballads on here. But other than that, like nothing really stands out and makes me like say, ooh, I want to listen to that song. Or like I haven't even really give this album like a full. I've listened to it, but again, not many times because nothing really pulls me in. It's the same thing with the Distance Over Time album. So the next album that I rated is from the Mangini era as well, and this is the self-titled album, Dream Theater. I think personally, this is not including the Astonishing, but this is definitely like a really good studio album with Mike Mangini. You got some really good songs on here. The Enemy Within. I really, really love The Looking Glass. The Illumination Theory. That's a really, really cool song. A lot of good songs on there. Along for the Ride. But again, like, it's like good songs, but nothing that really pulls me in, like, that I kind of want to keep listening. I don't even like, again, I don't really like fully know the lyrics. It's like on those other two albums that I just talked about, Dramatic Turn of Events, Distance Over Time, nothing really stuck or sunk in, Same thing will go for this album. In at number 11, and this is actually from the Portnoy era, is Black Clouds and Silver Linings. I mean, it's okay, I remember seeing this tour. I really enjoyed the tour. A couple of good songs on here. A Nightmare to Remember is really good. They had the video for Rite of Passage. I'm not nuts about that song. Count of Tuscany is pretty cool. But again, this is, to me, is like where Dream Theater was hitting a wall. And it was just like their music was getting pretty stale. They had already came out with Octavarium, all that. They that was like they did that big, you know, DVD show taping at Radio City. So they've already like kind of like hit that point at the their high point at this point. And yeah, this album is just like yeah, it's just another album. To me, nothing great, nothing fantastic. And actually, Portnoy left after this album, so it definitely seemed to me, it was like hitting a wall. Nothing really struck out and to me. And that being said, the next album, and this came after Octavarium, and I would say it's in at number 10, is Systematic Chaos. Systematic Chaos is, it's got some good songs on here. It was after Octavarium. You got In the Presence of Enemies. That was that part 1 and part 2. Forsaken's okay, decent song. And what was the first video, In Constant Motion? Constant Motion, that was a pretty good song. And then there's like songs like Repentance. That was the piece of the glass. That was the last part of the glass prison installment. I wasn't nuts about it. I actually I listened to it very little. Prophets of War. Ministry of Lost Souls Part 2 is Ministry of Lost Souls, I'm sorry, not Part 2. Ministry of Lost Souls is another song I didn't really catch out to me. What I did like about this is the packaging that came with the I have the bonus disc. It came with the DVD. It showed the making of, and that was pretty cool. It showed them making this album. There was a couple of cool things going on in there, a lot of funny moments, Dream Theater moments, really funny. Mike Portnoy was really the life of this band, and I think when he left, I think a part of that, the soul of Dream Theater, kind of dissipated a little bit, and he definitely is missed. And not to take anything away from Mike Mangini, I think he's, again, an amazing drummer. It's just that the band changed, There's nothing to do with him. And in at number 9 is Train of Thought. This album, from what I can recall, came out after, I think, 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. This album was made in a couple of weeks. It definitely just sounds like that. It was just a put together metal album. And I remember Portnoy was referring to this as a balls to the wall kind of album. It was all heavy, all balls and chunk. That was what he used to use to describe the heavy stuff, and it really is. It's really heavy. I definitely love on here this Dying Soul. That was the second piece to the. This came after the Glass Prison. I like that song. It's really cool. But other than that, you got Honor the Father. In the Name of God, Stream of Consciousness. That was an instrumental that they did. It's good. It's Endless Sacrifice. Vacant is that it's like a ballad. I actually fully don't even listen to that. Yeah, it's okay. Not a great album. Again, Train of Thought right here. I didn't see this tour. I did see the Systematic Chaos tour. I remember them playing. I saw them at PNC Bank Center in New Jersey. They played with a bunch of bands, and it was just, I remember the arena being the venue being empty. It was nobody there. It was pretty interesting. It was just nothing really, again, struck out to me on those albums. But going back to Train of Thought, I didn't see that tour, and I remember they played at Madison Square Garden during that tour in the theater at Madison Square Garden. I remember that, and I just didn't get a chance to go. So totally forgot what I was up to number wise, but hang on one second. Okay, so we would be in at number 8, and in at number 8 I put Octavarium. Definitely, I'd say, the track Octavarium is definitely one of my favorite Dream Theater songs, but the rest of the album, I really wasn't, I don't know, I just, again, didn't stick out to me. I wasn't too fond of it. The tour was great. I saw the tour, the anniversary tour when they played at Radio City. I actually saw the week before, I saw them at Asbury, New Jersey. They played some really cool songs on that tour. Raise the Knife being one of them. That was one of the songs I really loved from Dream Theater. It's one of the demos. They played it live. I was so excited. They played Innocence Faded from Awake. But an Octavarium is just, again, that song alone and just playing it's just really cool. The second half of it, at least, First half is like, kind of takes a while to get going. But yeah, I mean, not many great songs on here. I mean, to me, like the Root of All Evil, that was the installment to the Glass Prison. I think that's the third song. You know, it's okay. Heavy song, cool. They played some of this when I saw them with Megadeth on Gigantor. They played some of these songs. There's These Walls, Panic Attack. You know, Panic Attack's okay. Pretty cool. It's got the opening bass riff. You know, Walk Beside You. That was a cool song. I mean, they played that on the tour. I remember when they played at Radio City. You know, but again, nothing really that stands out and that catches me. You know. All right, this album catches a lot of flack, and I have it in at number 7. Day and Dream Unite. You know, the thing is with this album, it's like the songs on here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do not like Charlie Dominici's vocals on here, and I really wish that they would re-record this with James LaBrie. But I think with the album rights, I don't think that they're able to do so. But I think they should have did it a while ago. You know, I mean, I was kind of hoping like that they would have been able to do that. They played the album in full with him, with James LaBrie, and I remember seeing bootlegs of that, and it sounds really, really good. But Charlie Dominici, the singer on the album, by the way, this is Dream Theater's first studio album. I just don't like his vocals, you know. But the songs on here, there's some great songs on here. I mean, you have Yitzy Jam, that's the popular instrumental that they played. I remember seeing that on the Live in Tokyo VHS. I was watching that in college. Fortune and Lies, Status Seeker. I mean, you got so much on here. The Killing Hand is one of my favorite. It's up there. Dream Theater songs. One of my favorite. I guess I'd say one of my favorite songs. I remember they played that at the Beacon Theater when I saw them on the 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence tour, and it was so cool that they played that. And James LaBrie really does these songs justice when he plays them. Life, Fuse, and Getaway. Again, so many. The Afterlife, they played that on the anniversary tour when they played the Octavarium tour. That was one of the songs, but definitely, and the sound quality, the production is not as great, but the songs are the riffing on here is like the riffs. It's pretty crazy stuff. That's why I kind of moved it up in the ranks. So I mean, production-wise versus the other albums, it's definitely nothing. It's not a well-produced album, but the music on here is incredible. What was this other song I'm trying to remember that I really, really, really liked? The One Who Helps Set the Sun. The One Who Helps Set the Sun. I think it had that cool bass harmonics from John Young. One of those cool riffs in there. Again, so many cool songs on there, but okay. In at, I think it's number, let me just see if it's 7. Oh no, 6. We're up to number 6 already. Is Falling Into Infinity. So I really, this album takes a lot of flack. It's like, a lot of people don't really like this album, but I really enjoy this album. I have to say that the demos on this album, man, some of them should have been on this album, and I think those demos alone, I have the Falling Into Infinity demos. Some of those are better than the tracks that are on the album. There was a lot of things going on at this time. Derek Sherinian was playing keyboards. There was a lot of changes going on. They were trying to write stuff that was a little bit more catchier, poppier, well, poppy, but not as technical. And you can see in some of the songs that were on the demos. You got like oh man, I can't even remember the name of some of the songs, but there was Cover My Eyes. That was a really, really cool song. That was like one of those things that they were trying to write more like poppier stuff, more catchier stuff. Great tune. Cover My Eyes, The Way It Used to Be, that's another good track. I definitely love Raise a Knife. Raise a Knife that's not a poppy song. That's one of that should have been on this album, Raise a Knife. And to me, it's better than any of the songs on this album, except for New Millennium. But anyway, on this album, I really enjoy New Millennium. Like I said, it's one of my favorite songs. You got Hell's Kitchen. I love that instrumental. It's really cool. Just Let Me Breathe is pretty cool. Trial of Tears, that's an awesome song. I love the keyboard solo on that song. You know, Derek's work on this album is it's really good. You know, then you got Peruvian Skies is okay. You know, that's a decent song. Burning My Soul's all right. You know, You Not Me, it's okay. You know, I remember that was the first song, Dream Theater song we played when I had in my band back in college, because it wasn't as hard and we were able to like play through it. This was actually the first tour I saw Dream Theater, on the Falling Into Infinity tour, so I mean, it's a real memorable album for me. But yeah, I love The Millennium. The Millennium's actually in my top Dream Theater songs. That breakdown section when when it goes to the instrumental section in that song, it's just incredible. I love it. Again, one of my favorite songs. So this is in at number 6, and in at number 5, I put The Astonishing. This is a Mike Mangini album. Now, I've watched a lot of ratings of Dream Theater albums online, and this album is usually last. People just don't like this album. I love it. You know, like, it's not like particular songs stand out to me, you know, but I love the way that it's just this double album. It's a concept album straight through. I saw the tour. I saw it at Radio City, and it was amazing. I mean, their performance was amazing. I saw them and also saw them in a theater in later the second leg of the tour. I saw them play this album straight through again. It was a theater in Newark, New Jersey. I don't remember the name of the theater, but I went and I saw this, and I actually went by myself. It's the first concert I ever went to by myself. I sat, and I remember I was like fifth row, and I just sat, and like I was dead center, and just like kind of tuned out for 2 hours and whatever, and just watched this album played straight through. So many cool songs on here. You know, you got a lot of good stuff on here, but again, not a particular song that I say, oh yeah, like, you know, it stands out. It's just the whole album like together is what I really like about it. The story's okay, it's not bad. You know, when you see it live, it's a little bit different, but I definitely enjoyed this tour, and this is it's a Mike Mangini album, so you know, that he was on. But it was a really cool tour. It was one of my favorite Dream Theater tours that I saw. So so I had this in at number not number 4. This is at number 5. Sorry about that. So number 5, The Astonishing. Now in at number 4, and this is a great Dream Theater album, is 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. Yeah, this is like Dream Theater's follow-up to Scenes from a Memory, you know. And like, what would they do after Scenes from a Memory? Because that album is like hard to top, you know. And this is what they came out with. And this is with Jordan. It was the second album with Jordan Rudess. I remember as a fan back then saying, like, what could they possibly put out after Scenes from a Memory, you know? Like, because to me, it's like that was like their high point, you know, in their career. But they came out with this, and I love The Glass Prison. Love Blind Faith. That was the song that came out. It came out on the radio. I remember listening to it back in the early 2000s. Misunderstood's a pretty good song. You know, Great Debate is really cool. Disappear I don't really like. But then you get to the second disc. That's the 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. That's the epic song. I love this song. I've seen it being played live. I think on 2 occasions. But really, really cool. So at Radio City. First time I ever saw it, I was blown away when I saw them play this straight through. It was Radio City on this tour, and this was one of the best shows. Not Radio City, Beacon Theater. I saw Dream Theater on this tour. This was actually my favorite Dream Theater tour. They played a lot of tracks off this album. The concert went on forever. I mean, it was like a 3-hour show. I mean, it was like they did this. They played Master of Puppets. They covered Master of Puppets. Then after that, they came out and they played the 6 Degrees. I think it was after Master of Puppets. They came out and they played the whole 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, the second disc. Oh man, I was blown away. And then obviously, I saw them play it at Radio City when they did the Octavarium tour with the orchestra. That was incredible. But this is up there for me. I love this album. I just, you know, the Glass Prison is one of the coolest, heaviest songs I've ever heard from Dream Theater. It's like one of those tunes I don't even think I can even venture to on bass. It's so hard to play, you know. But a really good song, you know. All right. As you get to the top 3, it gets very, very hard to pick, you know. And I could have easily put any of these first, you know, because I love these 3. albums right away. But with number 3, I'm going to go with Scenes from Memory. A lot of people rank this as the best album from Dream Theater. I definitely think it's one of their best. Obviously, it's at the top 3 for me, but it's not number 1 for me. First of all, concept wise, this is one of the best. This is, to me, is the best concept album I've ever heard. I saw this live at Roseland. I've seen this. They played this live when I saw them at Tradewinds in New Jersey back in the late 90s, 99, and then I saw this at Roseland when they did the DVD taping. One of the best shows I ever saw, and this is when Dream Theater was on the top of their game. First album with Jordan Rudess. There's so many good songs on here. I love the Overture, 1928. This is a great instrumental. This is like the first time I started writing overtures and getting really into that kind of stuff. You have also Strange Deja Vu, one of my favorite Dream Theater songs. I mean, look, you got so many of them. I mean, Fatal Tragedy, Beyond This Life. And then you got the ballad Through Her Eyes. That was pretty cool. It was really good live when Petrucci's playing that with the choir coming out and singing. It was amazing. Home, really good song. Seen them play that live a couple of times. Dance of Eternity, that's definitely, like, to me, is the best Dream Theater instrumental of all time. Finally Free, Spirit Carries On, it's another one. I had to give this disc a listen to full through. That's how to me, that's how you listen to this album. You got to listen to it straight through because it's that concept album. I just love this CD. I would have put it as number 1, but I was like, I got 2 more that I really like, want to get to, that I really enjoy, and they stand out for me the most. And this was hard because I could have put either of these at number 1 as well. Number 2 is Awake. So many great songs on here. I love 6 O'Clock, Caught in a Web. I don't even have to look at the titles on here because I know all the songs. 6 O'Clock, Caught in a Web, Innocence Faded, Voices, The Mirror, Lie. The only song I don't really like on here is Space Divest. It is like, not a great song, for me, Dream Theater song. It's not it wasn't technical enough, right? Scarred. Oh my God. So anyway, heavy album. This is a heavy album. I love the production on this album. So many good songs, and that's why I had it in. I could have easily put it at number 2, but I'm gonna go with number 1 as their second album, Images and Words. So many good songs on here. I mean, Images and Words has got Pull Me Under. I remember seeing Pull Me Under as a kid, and I was in high school. It was on MTV. I just didn't understand what was going on. I was like, it sounds pretty cool. It was like, I saw the bass player playing a 6-string bass, and I was like, this looks really cool. But I didn't get into it then. I got into them in college, in my sophomore year. One of my buddies introduced me to them, and this is, I think it was either this or Awake that I listened to first, and I just fell in love. And that's why I like these albums. I mean, obviously, they're the best Dream Theater albums of all time, but they stand out to me. You had Kevin Moore on Awake, and he was on the other album too when I had rated back then, was When Day and Dream Unite. Kevin Moore, the first keyboard player. He was really good too, going back to Images Words, Pull Me Under, Another Day, I love that. Take the Time, Surrounded, Metropolis, Under Glass Moon. And then, what was the ballad on there? Wait for Sleep. That song I didn't like. The same thing like with Space Divest. Those 2 songs I don't really like. But Learning to Live, the last song on the album, I love that. So many cool things. I like the production on that album. I like the sound of like the 80s kind of stuff. They had a lot of melodies of stuff that I like. It wasn't really like heavy, dark. It was more like melodic and really catchy stuff. Labree's vocals on those first 2 albums I think are incredible. But anyway, that's it. I did the 14 albums, I love Dream Theater. They're definitely one of my favorite bands, and so that's why I wanted to do this and get on here and do that and put it up on the channel. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you have any comments or anything like that, you can leave them in the comments. I'm sure most people you know, voice their opinions on what they think, and yeah, if you do, it's all good, man. Um, you know. Oh, also, if you want to, you can follow my page on Instagram. It's called Just Being Josh. It's a bass page. Look me up at Just Being Josh, and you'll find the page. A lot of good stuff going on. It's a nice bass community. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this this album ranking, and have a good night.